if we could imagine ourselves as one drop of the body of all that is, and imagine as we decide to come into this life journey, it is as if one little drop of all that is decides to allow itself to have an experience of existence, of a human, and one little drop of all of that magnificence gets dropped into a pool of consciousness. And at the moment of impact, that creates an impression into the surface. That impact begins to create a resonance. Something has come into this existence, something has arrived here, and everything around it is feeling the reverberation of this one tiny drop that has dropped into this existence. Imagine that the still pool is this life journey. It is an opportunity in the stillness, in this quietness, in this vast expanse of potential for us to show up and leave an impression, make a mark, and change something by the ripple and the vibration that we have and that we create while we are here. Imagine that there's you dropping in and coming into a space that is receiving you and reverberating with the energy of you. And that is what is happening. Not one of us get to be in this life journey without creating some kind of ripple or wave, some kind of impact. Every single one of us is going to connect into this life, and this life and all those who are sharing our life, they are going to know that we were here, and they are going to feel the significance of this one tiny little soul that has been here. So when we drop in to this existence, we are filled with the coding of the magnificence of all that is. This little drop, as small as it might be, is encoded with the magnificence of what it truly is. We are to bring into our awareness these words that were said way back when I started writing that little book, A Journey to Remember. I am divinely and uniquely encoded with the magnificence of this life journey. When I heard those words, it was like, I don't know what that means. But more and more and more, I'm starting to understand it. That there is nothing in this life journey that I'm not encoded to be part of. I am part of all that is, and here is the journey that is the opportunity for me to express and create and show and reveal myself. So then all this that is potential here becomes possible in this known space that we call our human life journey. So we come in and drop, and as we drop in, the impact creates a little dent into the water surface, and that pushes a little ridge all the way around itself, a beautiful circle as a first ripple. And we notice, if we were to look at this very carefully, that it goes down into a little valley like a wave, and then it rises up to an edge, and then it drops down into another little valley and rises up once again into an edge. And all these ripples that are being created because of the first drop are extending and opening and widening around that one moment of intention. Imagine that the first part of our journey, we are held in a very small circle right near us and right around us. And all the participants that are right here to hold us in this life, our family members, our nearest and dearest, they are right here close to us and holding us almost as if we are in a container. And we have got all the space to move, all the free will that we can exercise and show up and know ourselves in that space. But that known space, it either becomes the only space known to us, or we can expand outward into the next ripple of awareness. So think about these ripples as moments of awareness, opportunities of growth and expansion, transformation. That every time we come into a place where the ripple is being contained, it is a container that holds the information for that place and that time. And when we choose to grow, to transform, to awaken, we have an opportunity to go into a wider frame of reference, to expand our consciousness upward and outward. In doing that, we leave behind the known space, the predictable known space of this container that has been holding us for this long, that has been defining us and revealing who we are in it by those who are here to play with us in this space. We grow as we wish or not, but if we do choose to grow, we push outward from this container, beginning to express our individuality, beginning to express who we are. It is as if we are being called to experience more. And that is what we are all feeling right now. This energy of there is something more, there is a transformation, something awakening in us. And so it feels as if we're being pushed to the very edge of this existence, to our very limits. We just cannot play and be contained in this space anymore. In the pushing outward of this space, we are to release our identity and our attachments in this first circle of our awareness. If we can let go of who we think we are because of what we've created in the structures and the systems around us, if we could let that go and allow ourselves to push out beyond the perceptions that have contained us, to something more, to possibility, to potential. As we push outward, we have to almost go up a little rise. We have to lift ourselves up, elevate our energy so that we can make this next transition to a peak, to a point that is risen up, to an awareness that there is more on the other side, even though we cannot see it. If you are in the waves in the ocean and a big wave is coming up in front of you and then peaking at the very top, you cannot see what is behind that wave. It is a beautiful wave. If you just relax into it, lie back and relax into it, it will carry you up into itself. And then, if you're lucky, it will let you just slide over the other side into the lower trough of its wave formation. But if you fight and push and try so hard, you're going to cause a lot of splashing and a lot of misery for yourself. It's very likely that the wave will curl and splash and crush over you and push you back into the space that you've been trying to move away from. But if you just float, if you get to the point where you stop the struggle and you begin to float and you go into that space where the swells are mounting and trust yourself, float in it, you will ride up the crest of the wave and you will gently come down the other side. A lovely feeling of rising up and dropping down. And it's a very playful energy to be in. Imagine that this first trough, this first area of our awareness, that very first circle around us, has now given us everything that we need to know and understand as a human being. And now we are ready to experience something more, something else that is beyond this existence. And we know it's there because we're seeking it with all our hearts. We're seeking a different setting, a different place to hold us. And if we are seeking for it, we shall find it. It's not this pursuing, doing kind of activating energy. It is letting go and trusting that it is already there, and trusting that we are divinely and uniquely encoded to be in that space with this beautiful being, that everything we need to know is already inside of us. It will awaken in us at the moment of us coming into the next container of our reality, the next circle in which we can expand and experience this life in a whole and a new way. I would love it if you would play with this idea and begin to consider, where am I being held right now? And where am I holding myself right now? And what is making me hold on for dear life in this container, with this identity, with all the attachments, the clinging and the holding? All of this will hold us in that space. It will contain us in its container. But if we were to let go of all these things that we are holding on to so hard and lie back and float, fall back into the wings of angels, absolutely trust, we will come into that beautiful uprising, uplifting, elevating energy. We will get to the top of this wave, and we will slide gently down into the next circle around us, this next beautiful ripple of the awareness of who we are. We can do that many, many times, like a little drop landing in a still, clear pond. It creates a ripple, and that ripple will continue to go and grow and go and grow and go and grow. And you will also notice that the ridge between becomes less and less and less. It almost diminishes, as if there will be almost no effort needed. When we get to a certain point, we will simply go over so gently and float on, awakening at every point of this beautiful existence. So what will we do with this life, and what will we do with this being? The other picture that comes in is the energy that we can see in sacred geometry, that when you create your little drop and you create that circle, that beautiful energy circle, the drop that lands next to you overlaps yours, and the next one overlaps again. And if you were to see this from the top looking down, you would see all these perfect circles overlapping, interlocking with each other. It is the seed of life, that beautiful image of the seed of life. That is what we are doing. We are dropping our awareness of all existence through this little mortal being that we are into this potential of all that is, so that we might know ourselves again. The third part that I want us to get on this is that when we are in the circle that we choose to be in, to play inside of, all the patterns, all the structures, all the systems that are in that hold us in the way that we have created them. For those of you who have a sense of awakening, a sense of awareness, and are willing to create and make something else, something more, you will not be able to do it if you stay held inside of this container. This container has given us its fullness of what it has to offer. There is no more that is available in here than what we are already seeing in the structures and the systems around us. The only way that we are going to come into that next space is if we let go of this and trust that this awakening feeling, this deep desire and longing that is within us, will guide us over this ridge and into the space in which this can become, because it has the vibrational frequency to match the energy of our heart's desire. It awakens the embedded codes within us. Do not try and create and manifest inside of the space and the container that has no more potential than what we have seen already. If you know that there is something else and another way that you wish to show up and be in the world, let go, let God, and allow yourself to merge into a higher frequency where all this makes it possible for you to create and manifest. If you feel like you've hit a wall, and if it feels like you cannot go any further and nothing that you're doing is working, it's because you have locked yourself in to your attachments, your identities that are holding us captive inside of a space that we created that has nothing else to offer. The only way through is through. I wonder how you're going to hear that and receive it. May it bless you, may it encourage you. I'd love to hear how you are hearing and interpreting this. So much love to you. Namaste. Thank you for you.